What's up, YouTube? Kicking off today, the first day of Day of the Dead. Continuing on with the horror theme from this month, we've got the infamous Bandai Namco, one of the games from the horror series known as the Dark Pictures Anthology. Supermassive Games, the main people behind this, are well known for having made Until Dawn, The Quarry, and this series of games. These games are fun to me, as they are basically a movie, but we get to pick what happens. These choices can mean the difference between life and death for our characters. As these games are mostly like movies, certain events pretty much always happen, but the circumstances and characters can change based on our choices. There is a limit to this, but to a pretty decent extent, our choices matter. Compared to the Telltale series of games, choices are much more impactful here, with both short and long term effects. And of course, since they're basically movies, these are a lot of fun to play with my wife and my family. So I generally enjoy these games. So let's take a look at The Devil in Me and see how it goes for the Platinum 2. To really sell a horror experience, one of the first things that has to be explained is why the character can't just simply leave. In Resident Evil, they're stuck in the mansion because there are too many monsters outside at night where they don't have the gear or the manpower. In Silent Hill, Harry can't just leave because he has to find his daughter. There usually has to be a reason why the characters or cast are staying to face the monsters and evil. The Devil in Me takes a little while to sell this point, but it does get there eventually. The prologue kicks off with a bit of recap of America's first serial killer, H. Holmes. For those wondering, this guy and what he did, that's all real. We make sure the newlywed couple die watching each other for a trophy and wrap up the prologue. We get introduced to our crew of 5: Kate, Jamie, Aaron, Mark, and Charlie. Kate and Mark used to date, Jamie and Aaron like each other, and Charlie is having issues as the show isn't going well. That's right, these 5 are a film crew doing a docuseries on horror topics like serial killers. Kate is the screen star and does voiceover. Jamie does lights and is basically a pack mule. Aaron does sound. Mark does the camera work. And Charlie is the director and boss. They all get invited out to a rich person's recreation of the murder house with paraphernalia and artifacts belonging to H. Holmes. The only thing is, they've had to give up their cell phones, and the man, Dumet, who invited us, is acting extremely squirrely. So we head up to the mansion, sign in, take note of the number 178 by the stairs, and start to get settled in. We cut to Jamie and Aaron hanging out, and make sure they share a kiss for a trophy. Kate and Mark explore some more and air out some drama, while Charlie and Aaron try to find some cigarettes. Come dinner time, and we make sure Charlie handles the toast well for a trophy. Dumet has apparently left the island, so we have the place all to ourselves to film. Jamie blows the breaker and makes a blackout. As we turn the power on, we get a trophy for figuring out the code for the keypad. But there's a problem. Aaron just started screaming. We then play as Aaron, whose special item is a microphone that lets us hear things from further away. We investigate the weird noises, and can even see that as we walk down the halls, the hallways are shifting, blocking us off and opening new routes just out of sight. We get trapped in a room, and a creepy masked man comes in from a secret entrance, holding Aaron's asthma inhaler. We resist the urge to attack, and then when our friends come in, the man is somehow gone. Mark and Charlie don't believe Aaron, but Jamie and Kate do. Kate convinces Mark that it's time to leave, while Charlie and Jamie kinda want to continue. Charlie tries to go find Dumet, but the main lobby shows signs of a struggle along with a blood trail to follow. We stumble into a Saw-like room, seeing that Charlie activated a pressure plate, and if he moves, the guy in the chair gets impaled. We let Jamie pull us off the plate, and the poor guy in the chair gets impaled. Though something seems off here. Jamie and Charlie saw the guy that Aaron saw, though, and realized it's time to bail. But, oh no, the doors have bars drop in front of them, and we're all trapped inside, with a killer on the loose. We then cut to Mark and Kate, who we made try to get back together for a trophy. Kate would be okay if she didn't believe in crystals. We also see that she has unresolved trauma from a friend of hers dying in college due to a serial killer. We then get separated and play as Jamie with Charlie. Except, once in the freezer, Charlie gets separated by falling through a trap door. We then play as Aaron, who's stuck alone, who stumbles into a creepy recreation of a doctor's office with animatronics made from actual people. We stumble upon a recording that seems to implicate Charlie as an accomplice, some old texts from Jamie that make Aaron doubt a potential relationship, and then get told through a mannequin by Jamie that we need to hide or the killer is gonna murder us. We take the advice and hide. Back with Mark and Kate, we stumble upon our dinner chat, recreated with eerily similar mannequins, and nearly attack Jamie when she busts in. Then it's time to see if we can have Charlie survive. We go through the jail cells and get locked into what is clearly an incinerator, and manage to hide under the grates. Sure, it's hot, but Charlie is only partly crispy, not totally rotisseried. We then make our way with Jamie, Kate, and Mark into the Saw Spa. Here, we see that several builders were tortured or placed into games like Saw, where one had to die to let the other live, such as in the Saw room where we need a key. We then are able to make our way back into the mansion, and see that Dumet has erroneously increased the counter to 181. Charlie isn't dead yet. And then we get launched into the next Saw game. Jamie and Mark have to choose who dies in the vacuum chamber, Aaron or Kate. When I had first played this with my wife, she preferred Aaron over Kate. Funnily enough, Choosing to knock off Kate is the right choice, as only her chamber has a leak and can break the window. Even though most of the group is together, they all run off and get separated. Kate and Aaron end up together, Jamie is caught alone, and Mark fell down another trapdoor. First, with Mark, we catch our camera and are stuck in one of Dumet's workshops. Here we have to hide multiple times until we can escape. DPA games have a minigame for calming down that's kinda interesting. It's basically a rhythm game to keep calm. Until Dawn was funnier, trying to hold the controller still while it vibrates in varying intensity with the 6-axis messing with you. But it's better than the Quarry where you just hold a button to hold your breath. We manage to keep calm and escape. Then we play as Jamie and fix the last breaker for a trophy. Jamie discovers that Dumet is in the walls.
He's in the walls. He's in the goddamn wall!
And that most of the mirrors are two-way, along with discovering a secret interrogation room. Up next is Kate and Aaron, who manage to find previous victims and get terrified upon seeing the rigging. Then we cut to see that Charlie has managed to survive and we need to escape with him, also discovering that odds are the guy struggling not to be impaled was already dead. So, to make our escape, we do so by hiding in the trash grinder. Yeah, not the best spot. I should mention too that the game is mostly QTEs, but the game can be a bit generous, and sometimes failing a single QTE isn't an instant death for the character. Usually, you have to fail twice in a row. But we make it through. Back with the women, Jamie breaks a mirror and the gals group up, and through a minor shenanigan, get access to the core of the house, where we can see all the cameras, footage, traps, movable doors, etc. And of course, Jamie volunteers to be bait so that we can trap Dumet somewhere. So we run down, find Dumet, lure him to our trap, and manage to not get trapped with him. For about 2 seconds, as he escapes, catches us, and then traps Jamie and Kate in a room straight out of Saw 5. Jamie has the choice on whether hitting the button or not, as it's up to Jamie who dies. Spoiler, whoever has the screwdriver here can survive the trap. So since Kate has the screwdriver, we have Jamie hit the button. We then have a long chase-like sequence of making sure Dumet can't grab Kate. We manage to escape and hide in a maze. It's more wood than hedge, but it is a maze nonetheless. So we make our way through, find the secret exit, and then get chased some more by Dumet. This scene is actually kind of funny because if you pay attention and you look too hard at one of the mannequins that is actually the guy, the scene will cut and he'll start chasing you because he realizes you're looking at him, which is pretty funny. During this chase, Dumet also manages to grab another axe. The gals all fall down a cliff, but they're still alive, so we're fine. We then cut to Mark, who has to make his way through a public pool area that is seriously creepy. Once we make it through, we play as Charlie and work our way down the cliffs. The goal is the lighthouse to try and call for help out on Lake Michigan. We meet up with Mark and then find the museum of bodies. We hide in the coolers and then later make our escape. We then switch to Kate and Jamie and hide in a farmhouse after finding the dog. We make sure to keep the dog alive, and then on a cliffhanger we switch to see Aaron join up with Mark and Charlie. Aaron thinks that we should tie Charlie up, but Mark is able to talk her down. We explore the lighthouse, find proof that what Aaron heard was doctored, and that Charlie is not an accomplice. We then get to the top, turn the lighthouse on, and head back down. Kate and Jamie show up and meet Dumet's mother, who he turned into his first animatronic. The gang rushes upstairs and confronts Dumet to save Mark, and reveal that Dumet is actually an ex-FBI agent, Hector Monday. We then run away from the Axe Maniac and wait by the dock for help. A piece of shit cop shows up and discovers the bodies of who we thought was Dumet initially and his daughter. The cop escalates the situation like the piece of shit he is. But don't worry, Monday shows up and chops off the pig's hand and then brutally murders the piece of shit who totally deserved it. We have Mark steal the pig's pepper spray because
it's a surprise tool that can help us later.
We then get on a boat, grab the dog who came with us, and then head off. Just when we think we're safe, Monday shows up with his axe, coming aboard and provoking several QuickTime events, most of which will result in someone dying if failed. We attack Monday with all we got, including having Mark blast him with the pepper spray, and manage to make it out with everyone alive, except Monday, who seems like he done bit it. We then see everyone get picked up, and presumably the story ends here. And hey, Connie the dog survived too. Of course, the ending seems to suggest that Monday is still alive, and there's the potential that another group of 5 is going to suffer the same fate. But that was fun. The first time I played this, my wife and I could only keep 4 of the cast alive. Jamie died in the smush machine. Now for some easy cleanup. We make sure to have Charlie's hand get crushed in the scene early on when the group gets separated. We flash forward to Aaron, Charlie, and Mark meeting up, and have them tie Charlie outside so that the killer can get him for a trophy. And then, flashing back to a playthrough where everyone dies, we kill off Aaron, Charlie, and Jamie, then fall for a bad disguise as Kate for a trophy. Then, as Mark, in order to try and save Kate, we do what Dumet did before, calling up a group, guiding them to the island, and then Mark and Kate try to escape. Only to meet the same fate as the prior duo, meaning everyone bit it. I also had an issue where the complete the game trophy wasn't popping, so I loaded up to the final boat scene and let everyone die, and then the trophy popped. On to the next playthrough. This next playthrough we play on the theatrical cut, which, for the most part, swaps who we play as for each scene. This can range from something lame like early on, where going to the first house by playing as Mark and Jamie instead of Charlie and Kate, to some cool stuff being different, like playing as the guy in the prologue and decking H.H. Holmes, or seeing how Jamie was able to have Aaron hide in the closet, which was all part of Monday's plan. Or when Charlie is about to be roasted alive, Mark has to hold a lever to slow down the flow of gas into the room. The theatrical cut added in a lot of extra scenes, and it is cool to see the alternate takes from additional or alternate scenes. Once that's done, since I was following a handy guide, I had gotten all the collectibles and trophies, save for one. The one for taking photos with Mark of specific things. This one was kinda glitchy. It aimed wrong, and there was a huge headache finding the one that I had missed, which was the one at the pool level by taking a photo of a motion light from a specific angle, which was really annoying. Beyond that, with a guide, this platinum run was a breeze and a blast. I know some people complain about these games being, basically movies with QTEs, but that's arguably what makes them fun. They look very real, and they're fun to play to see what'll happen and what changes depending on your choices. Sure, certain set pieces always happen, but the branches and possible paths to get from A to B to C are what make it interesting. The platinum is pretty easy, practically a participation trophy. So on the scale, it's a 1.25 out of a 10. The extra quarter due to the issues with the particular photographs. As for overall, the game gets a 92 on the patented Dan the Ranking Man scale. There were some minor hiccups, and the story can be a bit cheesy, but the game is a lot of fun to play alone, with my wife, with friends and family, and so on. It's a good game. Grab some popcorn, have fun deciding who lives and who dies, and just go to town seeing how the story plays out. Stay tuned to see how House of the Ashes holds up on the second day of Day of the Dead. Like and subscribe. Comment down below who died first in your playthrough. And remember, only losers believe in the power of crystals.